Alrighty, guys. Well, welcome to Lens Wars, and that computer right there is not Jess's computers.
This is not mine.
We just use that for special effects and props. So let's get to today's topics. Why don't we? Alrighty. So today we got. I'm the fabulous star. I'm always on this show, but today one of our other co-hosts, Jess, is on camera today with us, talking about something that she finds very passionate, or she's passionate about.
Well,
We're gonna go over Sony versus Canon. We're gonna get Nikon out of it because nobody likes Nikon anymore.
no one really likes Nikon.
That's like
we all know Nikon uses Sony's, sensors, so there's just no point. You might as well just get a Sony
So
if you're gonna shoot with a Nikon.
We're gonna get into that today. So let's just go right off. Why does Jess shoot with a Canon? I know exactly why I shoot with a Sony.
Well,
Why does Jess shoot with a Canon?
besides all the beautiful aspects of it, Canon sensors absolutely warm.
She's also a Mac person.
I wouldn't say I'm a Mac person all the way. I mean, I was, but I don't know where
I
I'm
converted
at
her a
with that
little
world
bit
now.
over to PC.
I'm really confused right now. He really confused me.
She's like a teenager going through like puberty. Like right now because she's got her her iMac on her desk, but she's got like the PC on the other side, so it's like she doesn't know what she wants to be yet.
I have both of them on my desks, and I work with both because
like,
I'm still
why?
used to the Mac system and mainframe and how everything looks, and PC really is weird. It really trips me out, but
We'll get
I'm
that in a
getting used to
second.
it. Let's go back to the Canon.
So why does I don't understand because we shoot raw, but go ahead, finish your spiel.
I mean, I understand. Okay, well, you have 42 megapixels, and I still can have 25 or 26, or and they're big formats. Either way, they're both raw. But my favorite part about Canon is just the warmth of the skin tones that I get, that I cannot get with Sony so far when using it and using the same settings.
You shoot raw though, but raw you can adjust. It's metadata.
But why would you want to spend so much time editing that when you can get it perfect?
You're already editing.
On Canon.
It's one click. I can do that in a Sony. I can change up the kelvins. You're like change your kelvins. It's white balance.
It's the same thing.
No.
Kelvins, white balance.
You can adjust your kelvins in post.
I do my kelvins on my camera for a certain reason because I know that I want my skin tones a certain.
We need actually one day. I think that's what we'll do next time.
We already have proof when we went to Iceland and we took these pictures completely opposite.
We were shooting different lenses, different everything. I'll put some Canon lenses. I do shoot with Canon glass. Well, actually, no, I shoot with Canon mounts. That's just because that's a standard. Okay, I get that. But we should go shoot the same subject, same lighting, same everything, same settings on the camera. Mm-hmm. And let's see which one is better. I think we'll do that one day. I know there's probably our YouTube whatever about it. I don't care. I'm going to do it again.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's other people who have compared it millions of times. And I also know that it is a preference of what you like to use. I actually used to use Nikon before I went to Canon. I remember one day I found a really great deal on a 5D Mark II, and I had a Nikon D800 at the time. And, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just test it out to see if I like it, and if I don't like it, I'll return it. And so when I shot with both of the cameras at the same settings with Nikon 50mm and a Canon's 50mm, I noticed how much green was not in my pictures.
But I can take that green out post.
But why would you want to do that if you don't have to?
We're not shooting JPEGs. This is 1990.
I understand.
I'm not shooting film.
I'm not shooting film either.
I like to be
but
film.
I like to emulate film, as in I love the colors and tones. But my preference is if you want to do it, just do it right and shoot it through camera. You don't need to go and do all that.
And I'm all about in camera, like my lighting. We got to get it right in camera, not adjust it later. But like Canon's they've fallen behind on their technology.
Well,
they're like 10 years behind schedule.
Okay, Sony is ahead. I would say
Sony is kicking ass right now.
In the technology part, yes, there's all the cool little whistles and bells and stuff that you could add to it.
Because the EVF is she'll probably admit it. The EVF, the electronic viewfinder, like the live piece, is way better.
Yes, it's super awesome. I love it.
Better.
That's the cool part. I wish Canon would pick up on that. I just can't get. love my images I get with my Canon.
You know, I think I'm a tech nerd. I probably could do this. I'm gonna go buy a 5D and an A7 or something. I'm gonna strip out the 5D's guts and put an A7 like guts in there, and then we'll see what happens.
I doubt.
I wonder if I could do that. Like I've built every other kind of wacko thing.
You probably could not.
I'm probably gonna go try that. And like she's like, oh, these look so much better. I'm like, yeah, because they got Sony guts inside.
No, I don't think so.
No, but
I will always know a image that's not Canon's. Like I just know it's
but
not.
I've read all these things. I've actually tested. We'll actually be here at NAB here in a few weeks. And when I tested the whatever, I forgot what camera it was. I think it was the 5D3 last year. But the image, they're softer. Like the Sony's got that super sharp look to it. I mean,
But
I
it
guess
also
if you like
depends
the
on your
soft,
lenses that you use too.
I'm using Zeiss glass, so there's no nothing. You're using Sigma Art, so there's no problem in glass.
The Sigmas are super sharp.
The Sigmas are super sharp, but I don't know.
I really love my Canons. I don't think I could ever change to any other system. I have
Canon
my
has
trust all
got
in
very
Canon.
Mackie. They're not upgrading their stuff. The 5D4, in my opinion, was a joke.
Well,
That was a
haven't.
joke.
I've only played with it a couple times. It does have the same similarities as the Sony, where you can transfer your images right to your phone as a raw image.
Sony's been doing that for 5 years now.
Right, but that's the one thing. Like that's the only thing Canon needs to catch up on is that type of technology. But for their pictures and the quality themselves, I would say I would prefer to have that quality over all the bells and whistles any day.
And we're talking about the Sony mirrorless system because the Sony DSLR system has died. It died like 2 years ago. I was actually on the Sony DSLR system for a couple years, but it died. It has died, and it probably went to hell. But we don't know that. I'll probably find it.
I'm
one
not
day.
shaming Sony in any way. They are absolutely amazing machines. I love them, and I think if you're going to shoot video for sure, like 100%, that is the best camera to have for any video purpose. But for me and what I do, I love my Canon. Maybe it's just a familiar thing, but I really love I love the sensor and how warm I can get my images. That's really what it is. And I don't have the nasty green tones that I can't stand.
I guess, but it's raw. But we'll let Jess on that argument. So I'd like to know what everybody else thinks on that. But I can tell you why I shoot Sony, and I've always been Sony. I've never really been on the Canon system. I've always been a Sony believer, like Justin Bieber. They got the believers. I'm a Sony believer all the way. And Sony's just pushing the boundaries. They've, in a mirrorless camera, for one, it's a travel camera. I can stick it on anywhere. And
I can definitely say I wish Canon was a little bit lighter. I mean, a lot lighter because my hands do hurt.
When I did a wedding in Cabo here not too long ago, and usually I always get checked. I always get like, oh, what are you doing here? Are you here to make money? I had a little carry-on bag, a couple of Zeiss Batis or Batiste lenses, or however you pronounce those. That's one thing I still don't know how to pronounce. I had a couple of those, and they didn't even check me, and it's something that you could not do with a 5D because it looks professional. The Sony A7 series, they're like little travel cameras, but they're like awesome.
Yeah.
And the autofocus has caught up. They're the Mark 1s, they weren't that great. The autofocus is definitely caught up. The glass, I have Zeiss glass, so I've got top end.
I can see, because I did play around with the 5D Mark IV, how fast the focus was. The focus was a lot faster than the 5D Mark III.
I can still beat you at night, though. Which, in weddings,
Yes.
which is what we do, during the reception, I can smoke you.
In ISO, yes.
No,
Yes,
not
you can.
ISO. In focusing at night, that's where your Sony will shine.
That is where I firmly believe that, and I know that's my hardest point whenever I'm shooting
like
a ceremony.
Down here where it's like things Jess agrees with.
But for real, that's one of the things that I have the hardest time with is, getting my Canon to focus in darker situations, even though I already have like a light source. And so it's just then I have to go to manual focus, and I already have bad vision already.
Which manual focus, they teach you that in film school. I've gotten manual focus. Actually, I prefer manual focus sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm faster than the 5D system.
Okay, it's
Weird.
different. I like to do manual focus too, but whenever you're running and gunning, you have to be in auto and all the time. So my thing is just like, when we're talking about like the autofocus at night,
like,
then I can definitely
Sony's got something else up their sleeve. So they introduced this with this, I think it was A7R2, the image stabilization and the backlit sensor. The image stabilization is really a big thing because you can take a super sharp image at like 1/10 10, like tenth of it, like 1/10 of it, like on the shutter.
Mm-hmm,
And it's really weird. You can't do
slow.
that on a Canon
No.
because it's not stabilized. So that's even when like even transfers to video. It's almost like you've got like a little gimbal inside your sensor.
Yours.
Actually, it's in your sensor. It's basically what it is. It's just stabilizing it.
Yeah.
I won't switch anytime soon. No. I mean, maybe to red. Well, actually, no. I'm already on red, so no. But Canon's behind on their technology. They need to catch up for sure. And if they did catch up, then maybe because Canon's color technology, I will say, is better when you're shooting JPEG. But when you're shooting RAW, I have more dynamic range. I've got. Oh hell, I know I've got at least 16 stops. I think the Canon 5D4 only has like 14, so I've definitely got some more areas in the shadows.
You're talking about video?
No, I'm talking about photo. My
okay.
sensor can capture more light.
I know it has a better capability for higher
I know.
ISO.
This is what Jess saying. I know
it
your
has
camera's
higher
better.
ISO.
Your camera's better.
No,
but
it's not. It's not. It's better in a lot of like bells and whistles, but I still get amazing images.
I'm so official.
On my
All
Canon.
I need is my whistle.
I love my Canon, and if I could ever get a Sony to do what my Canon does, then maybe I might transfer to Sony. But I just don't. I don't think that Sony will ever change their sensors where they can be as warm and have the same color grading as Canon does. So that's the only reason.
We're gonna do this next week. We're gonna take out those two cameras. I'm gonna put both a Sigma 35. I know it's Jess's favorite lens.
It is my favorite.
I'll put a 35 on there. We'll shoot the same exact everything just to show her, and we'll shoot both in RAW. Does yours do uncompressed RAW, or is that only one setting? I don't know. I haven't played with the 5D.
I think it's just
we'll do.
RAWs.
I know mine's uncompressed. I can do compressed or uncompressed, so I'll do uncompressed RAW, and we'll see if we can match them. We can even put your presets on them because Jess has actually got some awesome presets that she sells, and you should check those out. But we'll see how close we can get. I'm pretty sure I can definitely match. Actually, I'm 100%. I'll put money on it.
Yeah,
I can match it. I'll put $50.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can, but if we have to use the same exact settings, you have to use the same Kelvin tones, everything.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because in post I can change it. What we're saying is, can I get the same?
I want to see the raw image at. That's what we need to do. We need to show the raw image, okay, at the same settings.
Okay, then we need to change the color profile because your picture profile is gonna be different. So like the actual like, we're gonna shoot a JPEG.
No,
No?
we can just
Well,
copy it.
because your RAW will when Lightroom ingests it, it's different.
Yeah.
So we should shoot a JPEG because that way it's both the same. Shoot a JPEG that way
we
the
can
camera
just
locks it in.
export the raw.
No, but listen. The when you import into Lightroom,
Mm-hmm.
Lightroom's like color calibration, how it reads a Sony versus a Canon is different. So we should shoot a JPEG.
Shoot JPEGs.
Shoot a JPEG that way they're both the same standard.
Okay, so we'll shoot a JPEG and then we'll shoot a raw and edit it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, that's what.
Or we should give maybe Macy. Maybe Macy can go shoot, and she won't tell us what camera's which.
Well, Macy has her Sony now, but
Well,
she
yeah.
also has
She was
her
on Canon,
Canon,
but I switched her over
right
to the dark side.
But
I think
it's not a full frame though.
I think we should do that. I'm gonna go give Macy the camera, and let her shoot it. No, not now. Maybe later. And let her shoot the same thing. Could be whatever. Could be Ranger out in the field frolicking.
Oh my god.
And then we'll see which one is which. I don't know. That's enough for that. She likes Canon. I like Sony.
I do love my Canon.
But for video, I mean Sony.
Sony definitely wins.
Yeah.
Definitely,
But
like 100%.
Red smokes them all.
It does for all video purposes.
Oh yeah, if you're not on the red weapon right now, no, I'm old school. I'm still on the weapon. I need to get the new helium stuff, but I don't really feel like spending 130 grand. Not today. So
not today.
our next topic is this last one because that was a rant.
That was a little
Mac
rant.
versus PC. So I just built her. You can actually check out the build log here down the link in the description. But I built her first PC.
He did.
It was all white. She told me, she's like, I want a white PC because white is just so awesome.
I love white. White's like almost like my favorite color.
And so I actually went to our local micro center and I picked up everything white. The white graphics card, white case, white lighting, white fans, white cables, white RAM, white SSDs. Like everything was white. And it's actually on the new AMD Ryzen chips, which I highly suggest. Like, it's been weird. So let's go on. I'm going to go on this topic. Intel has been the main people for like the past couple years, and oh my allergies. I hate living out in the country sometimes because the allergies kick my butt. But just a quick thing, AMD is caught up with Intel, and I'm actually really happy with both builds that we did here this past week with Macy's and Jess's, both running an AMD Ryzen 1700X, which. So I mean, you're on both systems now. Which one's faster?
Well, obviously my 2008 iMac is slower than my brand new 2017 put together by Colby and Jacob PC.
No, it was all Colby.
Okay, then all Colby. I'm so sorry. And so basically, I feel that me learning a new system is definitely hard, and it definitely is going to take some time to get used to. But for the past 2 days, I've been kind of hardcore editing on both machines. You already know that the PC is faster because it's newer, has better technology right now than my iMac. But if I had one of the new iMacs that were like, how much are those things? I don't know.
But
if I was to spend like $8,000, I'm sure I could get something equivalent to what I spent for.
You definitely could get an iMac, or not an iMac. iMacs they top out at 4 cores. You got 8 cores in your machine. If you spent probably $8,000 on a Mac Pro on the trash can, which they haven't updated in forever,
right?
Then maybe you get the same performance, but
it's just not the same. Like
the Mac OS, I will say, is a lot. It's like the iPhone. It's very user friendly,
and that's what I like about having that system to work with.
But it's all locked. I can't change. I can't overclock a Mac.
You can't, and you can't change things like you can for a PC. And so that's what I'm finding out.
And I can't do my beautiful water liquid cooling.
No, you can't.
Liquid
and
cool.
So that's something that I'm finding out using the PC and seeing the difference between the PC and the Mac. How I'm able to manipulate a lot more in this actual computer and software than I can in a Mac. And so for me, I'm just kind of like a newbie when it comes to PC. I'm just starting over again.
I think she'll learn it, but PCs are definitely more optimized for, I think, Adobe. Mac is definitely, remember the old, what was it? It was Aperture or what? Do you remember?
Aperture.
Was it Aperture?
There's an Aperture something, yeah.
For Mac, that's what it was designed for. Mac is definitely designed for Final Cut. Final Cut runs well.
Yeah.
But Adobe likes its scratch disk. It likes its cache disks. It likes all these extra disks to run on.
So it can,
So it can think, and you can't do that on a Mac. There's not enough expandability. At least on the iMacs, you can only put like maybe 2 hard drives in there. And on your machine, you've got we still have to add a few more, but it's got 3, and then my machine's got I think 10.
Yeah.
It's got 10 SSDs.
It just makes it faster to run. So while I'm running Lightroom, I can have other things going on in the background. Like if I'm rendering or exporting, it'll have like 3 different things that it could do at the same time without overloading the one, what do you call those things? Processor. I don't know all these terms. She is not a tech.
She knows how to take a really pretty photo, but when it comes to nerd stuff, she's not a nerd by any chance.
Not at all.
She's more you're like, I'm going to dye my hair purple.
That's exactly what I am.
Unicorn blood.
But I know hanging out with Colby, and now that we are joining forces, that I'm going to be learning a lot more about these things that I didn't want to learn about, but I kind of have to be forced to.
The PC allows more expandability. I think we talked about this last time, but it allows more user customizable ability, whatever you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, you can customize it. You can move things around. I mean, you can take out the hard drives. I don't have to carry hard drives with me anymore. It's so much easier that you could have all these things internally in your PC, and you're not having to worry about your system crashing, because when my iMac gets too hot and it gets overdone by Lightroom, it's so hot, like my computer feels like it's about to explode.
Which, actually, fun fact, so all Macs from I think it was 2008, they're actually designed to, or I'll teach you something different, teach you something new. They're designed to thermal throttle, and what that is, it's actually, they're designed to be pretty, and it's actually, if you look into Apple's business model, they design a very beautiful machine. That's their goal.
Yes.
They're selling something that looks good, not something that's necessarily functional. I think the Apple and there was I think it was the AirBook or something. It actually didn't
AirMac.
There's something. I don't remember. I'm not really a big Mac follower, but it didn't have a fan. It didn't had no internal fan. It was actually passively cooled. So if you were actually rendering something on that, it would actually burn your lap.
Yeah,
Because
my
it was super
my
thin.
laptop. I have a MacBook Pro, and so whenever I'm working on it from home, because it is my only laptop that I have, and whenever I'm moving it around and taking it to and fro, and if I have to export something from it, whether it's just at like 25 to 50 images, like an engagement session or like a bridal session or
You
whatever,
get a nice toasty lap.
like my lap burns. So I have to literally put it on a glass top, not a wooden top, because a wooden, my dining room table actually changed colors from the spot that it was sitting at. Like it almost burned my table.
So they're actually designed to, like I was saying, they're designed to thermal throttle, which means actually turning the processor speed down, which decreases performance because you're sacrificing it for looks, which these laptops that are on the desk might not look very pretty, but they're spec'd really well. We've got, what's in this machine? It's a 6700. It's a 6700, so it's the desktop model, not the laptop one. It's got a 950 graphics card, which is decent, and it's in a laptop, so that's actually decent for editing. This is actually one of Jacob's portable editing rigs, and it does just a fine job. But iMacs are designed to be pretty. They're designed to look good in an office, which they do.
They are pretty, and
look
that's the reason
great.
why I love them, and that's the reason why I said, hey, build me everything white in my PC, so this way I can still feel like I have the pretty things of Mac.
PCs are definitely more. They can be cool. Like they can be cool to the typical nerd, but to an art person, which Apple a long time ago actually used to. When I was in college, they were targeting the art person, but now I think they've switched their market more towards having the iPhone, which is a great market, but they've lacked on their professionals, and I don't think they're geared for professionals anymore. They've lost it now. Their MacBook Pros have a 2-core. There's more cores in a smartphone.
In a smartphone, or like it's the same thing as having like an Air Mac, but just
Pro. I
Yeah.
don't think they know what Pro is anymore, and it's sad.
And I can definitely say, and I totally 100% agree, like, I feel like, Apple has lost a lot of their clients, like, the firm believers that were like, oh, Apple, because, like, we thought that the, software was improving. And they're always improving things every day. But, I mean, the versatility of a PC versus Mac, I mean, PC will beat it any day.
And I would say this. If I could build like PC components, I could go to my local Micro Center, build a computer, but pay $1,000 for Mac OS, I'd pay it. But they don't sell just a Mac OS, and then they limit you what you can put in a computer if you were to build a Hackintosh, which that was actually my first PC build. Mac, you're killing me.
I just wish Mac would be able to. They could go back, because I remember back in the day you could change out parts, and you were able to like.
In the old Mac Pros, you could change out some stuff, but you were still locked in what you could use. But you could still upgrade. But now the iMacs, you have to have like these special tools to even get into. You have to cut the glue around the screen to actually open up an iMac.
Yeah.
To even change out the hard drive, it's weird.
Yeah. And so I guess like for me, when it comes to, if I had like a spare like $6,000-$7,000, $8,000 lying around, I could probably get like the best iMac that they have.
Which my machine would still smoke it.
Which my PC is even better than that, and probably faster.
Because she was getting a Cinebench score of 150 something.
Yeah, it was so
slow. And then
slow.
we built her a machine. It was getting scores of 1,700.
Yeah,
I was like,
so
what?
And I exported like one of my first galleries the other day. It took 20 minutes versus like 5 hours.
Yeah, and then if you step up to like an Intel 6950X, then your times are reduced even more, because that's just a awesome processor, but it's also a $1,700 processor. My processor costs more than her computer combined. So anyway, anything else you want to add on?
No, I'm just ready to get shooting. So
I'm just ready to. I need a snack.
I need some lunch.
I need some food.
I had
Lunch,
Chipotle.
It's like.
No,
it's
I
like
had lunch.
4:45.
I'm hungry again. I need food.
Ooh, so she found something cool the other day. What were those Hershey Kisses?
Oh, so
like-
I was in Target, and so like the bars are the Hershey Kiss bars. So it's like white, and it has like the chocolate chips
It's like the
inside.
cookies and cream, but
The cookies and cream bar, yes.
But in Kisses.
But I found them in like the Kiss size. Like they were like the little.
and it's like the perfect size. I was like,
It's like
bruh.
perfect. So now I don't have to
Bruh.
eat a whole bar. I could just like, hey, I just want one of those. Eat that, and I'm good. So perfect.
But I think that's about all time we have for today, because I actually have an engagement shoot coming to our new studio here in a second. So yeah, and we're actually out of time on the card. I can see it saying 0. So we will see y'all later. Peace,
Peace,
bruh.
peace.